With March Madness in full swing, NBA draft talk is heating up. The Sixers are owed the Los Angeles Lakers pick if it lands at. A player who could be available for the Sixers in the current range of the Lakers pick 10 to 12 is Texas Tech's Zhaire Smith. Jackson Hoy at joined by for the Stepien. Love, what are some basics about Zhaire Smith? What position does he figure to play in the NBA? How old will he be on draft night? What kind of athlete is he? Jackson Hoy, Zhaire Smith stands at 6'5" with a reported 6'10" wingspan and weighs in at 195 pounds. He was the 223rd best player in the class of 2017 according to RSCI. At the next level, he projects as a shooting guard, small forward, but it's not impossible that he ends up playing power forward for some stretches as well, even given his underwhelming size for the position. He turns 19 on June 4th, just a couple weeks before the draft. Smith might be the best athlete in the draft given his ability to explode with both power and grace. Chase down blocks and put-back dunks are routine plays for him. He floats when he jumps and effortlessly bounces off the ground for second attempts near the rim. KFL, what do Zhaire Smith's strengths project to be in the NBA? Weaknesses? Can he defend? JAH, his strengths center around his athleticism, feel for the game, and defensive versatility. Smith's outlier athleticism will make him a unique threat as an event creator on defense and as an offensive rebounder and cutter on offense. However, he's not just an athletic freak. He reads the floor exceptionally well for a 6'5" 18-year-old, finding teammates with skip passes and passing up good looks for great ones. Look no further than his 7-assist, 1-turnover performance against Florida in the second round of the NCAA tournament for evidence of his decision-making ability. Smith will be extremely useful in hammer sets in the NBA thanks to his ability to find teammates. He can defend very well for a player of his age, though he isn't flawless. He can get caught up on screens and his off-ball positioning and decision-making aren't perfect, but he has guarded every type of player from Javon Carter to Mohamed Bamba in man-to-man this season. His athleticism, motor, and feel give him an incredibly high defensive ceiling as long as he continues to add strength. KFL, how mature is Smith as a player? Is he still raw and in need of development, or can he contribute at the NBA level right away? JAH, wise, he is going to need development. He isn't comfortable handling in functional settings as he has to crouch over in order to protect his dribble, and he doesn't do much more than attack closeouts in a straight line with the ball in his hands in the half-court. He also will need to work on his three-point shot, as he doesn't shoot much from outside for a wing player and his shot isn't very fluid. That said, his smarts make up for a lot of the rawness in his S level. Most hyper-athletes without much S aren't ready to play when they come into the league because they don't know what to do, but I don't know that will be the case with Smith. He should be useful as a Swiss Army knife defender right away, and on offense, he can be a useful cutter, rebounder, and passer from day one. KFL, what level player do you expect Smith to be? High rotation, starter, all-star. What's your best-case scenario versus worst-case scenario? JAH, Smith's median outcome, in my mind, is becoming a useful starter. He'll add value in unorthodox ways similar to a wing version of Marcus Smart and therefore become an indispensable part of a good team. This median outcome requires some development as a jump shooter and ball handler, though he probably is still below average in those two areas relative to NBA players at his positions. Best-case scenario, he becomes a threat from three-point range and diversifies his handle, becoming a two-way player in the mold of Victor Oladipo. Whatever his ceiling outcome looks like, it involves serious S improvement and strength addition, something I think is relatively easy to project. Worst-case scenario, Smith's defensive ability is overblown and he becomes a fringy energy guard who teams hope develops into a useful player but is kept around more for his athleticism and less for his utility. For this outcome to occur, it would mean that Smith's defense at Texas Tech was overrated due to having excellent defensive players around him and that he failed to ever develop much S-level on offense. KFL, any player past represent you can compare Smith to? JAH, it's tough to find a close comparison to Smith, but former Texas Tech wing Darvin Ham is a solid, low-end comparison for him that my Stepien colleague Mike Gribanoff made a while ago. In terms of a median outcome, Smith can be some iteration of Andre Roberson that is smaller and a better passer, but there are many differences between those two players. I already mentioned Victor Oladipo as his sort of ceiling outcome. I bring this up because as a sophomore at Indiana, Oladipo was very similar to the player Smith is now. If Smith develops the same way that Oladipo did, he could become a player like him. KFL, where is Smith on your personal big board? Are you higher or lower on him than most? JH, currently, I have Smith 9th on my personal big board, which is definitely higher than most. He's slowly crept up for me as I've become more confident in his ability to improve going forward. He's improved massively just over the course of this season, and less confident in some of the players in front of him. I have a hard time imagining that he'll crack my top 8, but I'll continue to evaluate where I have every guy in this class ranked as the draft approaches. KFL, if the Lakers pick conveys to the Sixers